Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and in this one I am using a gel plate and I'm going to be printing straight into my art journal. So this is one of the smaller gel plates and I'm just going to start off using some of my favourite colours. This is often how I begin. I just kind of choose colours that I would normally gravitate towards. Starting off with sapphire first. Yeah, just straight on. There is no gesso on the page or anything like that. I am literally just going straight in. Sometimes it's fun to start with a different way of getting paint onto your background. It's very easy to get stuck in the rut of doing the same thing. And I think just creating a background in a different way, obviously, stating the obvious, it does give you a different look. And lots of us have gel plates, and I think it's lots of fun to print straight into your art journal. You're kind of got a bit of that serendipity going where you're like, oh, I don't quite know how this is going to work. It's fun seeing what happens along the way. Obviously, when you're cleaning your brayer off in between and maybe taking extra ghost prints of the pad, you can create other extra collage papers as well along the way. So it is lots and lots of fun. And I think just be prepared that you might create pages that you think, I'm not so sure about this. But then, you know, there are techniques that you can use that can rescue those pages that you might not like. So far I've used sapphire, iris, mustard, and this is raspberry. And they're so pretty together. You can see in some places I'm just putting paint onto part of the gel plate just so that I can stamp on a small area, but it's starting already to layer up really nicely. I'm overlapping the colours, and it's just creating a really soft effect on the background. I'm really liking how it's working. This is tangerine, so it's quite a nice warm colour, and again just overlapping and stamping parts of the gel plate onto the page. And you can see it's accepting the paint really nicely, and it's giving me a really nice effect. I think this was probably where I ended up working in my journal upside down. So I was a little bit annoyed when I found out, but you know, you just think, well, it doesn't matter. Does it matter? No, it doesn't. So what? I've got a page upside down. It's funny. When I look at it now, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember when I did that. The wrong way up. Because I'm kind of flipping my book round full circle, I'm noticing now while I'm editing. Okay, I've also used that looked like turquoise. This I think is ocean, or it might be malachite. So I'm using colours that are similar, that are friends as well. So like the turquoise and the malachite, the iris, and I think I've used blackberry as well. It's just creating that lovely, pretty background. Here comes the blackberry. Yes, it's nearly run out, that one. So just trying to get the last bits out. And don't be afraid just to try and see what works. You might love it, you might not. It doesn't really matter. It's fun to experiment with different ways of creating backgrounds. So now I have added blackberry to the gel plate, and then I'm going to use a mask from Dina's Branches Redux stencil set that came. Look how cool that is. Then of course I can print with that onto another piece of paper, go in again, more paint, and then pop the mask on, and I'm going to stamp this into 3 places. So what I'm doing here is kind of creating my own stamp using a mask and the small gel plate, and it's really, really effective. You can still see the colours behind where the mask branch shape is, but we've got that lovely rich blackberry colour around it as well. So kind of experimenting with things like this, it is lots of fun. So I've just got one more to do because of course I want to work in odd numbers. I'm just going to pop that on. And then stick. This was the point where I should have really, before I did any more, looked at my book to see which was the right way up, but I didn't. So yeah, I obviously felt it was meant to go that way for some reason. So this is another stencil of Dina Wakley's, and here I'm just using some raspberry through there just to give a little bit of a pop of colour over the top. So I've got that nice soft background, and I just want to start to bring in a bit more interest around these images and add a little bit of stenciling on, and start to build up even more layers. So not introducing new colours at the moment, but just using the colours that are already there on my page. Using lots of stencils from Dina. This, I think, yes, this is Iris. Adding some stripes on there as well, on the side of those stamped images using the gel plate. And now I'm starting to think about how I'm connecting all these pieces together. Now, I wanted to warm up some areas of my page. So here I'm using my finger just to rub a bit of mustard paint onto my journal page in a few places. And you can see that just brings a little bit of warmth to the page. Kind of warms up those colours in some areas. It's quite a nice little touch. And then just to bring some contrast, I wanted to add some white stenciling. So I'm bringing some white words across the page as well. Then I'm outlining those leaf branches just nice and loose. I'm going to do that for all three using a black Posca pen. Of course, we've got to bring some white dots onto there as well. So that's the next step. Yeah, so scribbling my Posca pen onto my desk, dipping my dotty stamp in. As you know, I have one for black and one for white. It means it's just easier to keep them kind of fairly safe using the same thing. And it's quite handy, really. So then I've added some dots. So again, that's just adding a bit more contrast to my journal page too. And then I am thinking about some words, and the thought about growth was where I started for with this page. So hence the branches, and that's where my phrase step forward into growth. So when I posted this on Instagram as a reel, someone actually asked me, what on earth does that mean? What I take this to mean, what it means for me is be brave and step forward into new situations, move forwards, not backwards, just stepping into that phase of things that could be new and bring growth to you, whether it be in your life or on a personal level. So yeah, things can mean all sorts of things to different people. So my journaling often reflects what's going on in my life, and there will have been a reason why I was journaling about this. So then I decided I wanted to add a white line to these branches as well. And I've got to be honest, I think I prefer it now to just with the black. So don't be afraid to alter things as you're working along, because sometimes you think, okay, so yeah, I like the white over the top of the black. It creates an interesting shadow effect. So then to finish off, some raspberry splatters. And here's the finished page. So lots of fun playing with the gel plate straight into my art journal. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.